Will Switch 1 accessories work on the Nintendo Switch 2? Getting a lot of questions coming in about our coverage from the Nintendo Switch 2 and from our hands-on experience, and the fact that we're paid in Nintendo shills.
Oh yeah. Big suitcases of cash.
Massive,
yeah.
One of the big ones that's coming through is about your original Switch accessories, of which we have covered and showcased and featured many,
if not almost all of them.
Probably all of them. So there's a lot of people that have bought stuff, or maybe are on the edge of buying stuff, or just bought stuff, that are like wondering, will this stuff still work on the Switch 2, or should I just hold off from buying it?
Today's super awesome video sponsor is PlayVital. Are you looking for the ultimate controller customization? Then look no further. The PlayVital Mono Eye Monster silicone cover will not only protect your Xbox Series controller, it'll also make it even more fun. Available in multiple colorways, including a silicone cover, joystick caps, and stickers to completely customize your controller. It doesn't end there either. From aim assist rings, thumbstick grips, protective cases, silicone grips, and skins for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and more. PlayVital's surely got something that will not only make you stand out, but protect your devices at the same time. For more information, check out these awesome products in the link in the description.
The first one is the Joy-Con controllers from the Switch 1.
Yes.
Will they work with the Switch 2, Andy?
I think they will. Not attached, obviously, but
yeah, can't attach.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a third-party manufacturer to make an adapter.
Yeah, I'm hoping no one does that because it's going to look disgusting.
It'll look disgusting. But for something like the mobile pads that are bigger...
Yeah, maybe. I mean...
It'll still look weird.
Yeah, it'll still look stupid. Yeah.
It'll look stupid, but I bet they do it. So the original Nintendo Joy-Cons, anyway, from the Switch 1... Yep, you're right. They absolutely will work to control games. Obviously, you'll have to use the center grip.
Yes.
Because you can't attach them to the Switch.
Yeah.
The only problem with this is that you cannot wake from sleep with them. And this is going to be a bit of a theme that's going to carry on.
Yes. Yeah. And there's no chat button and stuff like that, So.
You're losing a lot of functionality. You won't have HD Rumble 2.
No.
You improved gyro and accelerometers.
Yeah.
And just the general better ergonomics.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't use the original Joy-Cons.
No, because you're going to have, for like a party game or something.
Yeah, Mario Party.
You're going to be fine.
Maybe
so
Mario Kart.
Have one of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons for you. The other one to someone you like.
What's the controller manufacturer you'd always give to someone you don't like?
Oh, it's like Mad Cats.
Mad Cats, that was it.
Yeah. So it's the equivalent of that. So give you and the person you like the most the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, and then give the other two people you don't really like the Switch 1 Joy-Cons.
/ Mad Cats.
/ Mad Cats.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is looking at like the Pro controllers and the NSO controllers, as in like the N64, the SNES. The Mega Drive or Genesis, if you're in America, controllers. Will they work on the Switch 2?
I'm going to say yes.
And they will, absolutely, yes. So they will work again in the exact same way as the Joy-Cons. You can connect, you can control the games. You'll lose some functionality because you don't have the chat button.
Yeah.
However, no wake from sleep.
Oh.
Which is, I think, more of an issue with the Pro controllers.
Yeah, this is my biggest issue, I think, with the lack of like full backwards compatibility support on these controllers, because wake from sleep is a big deal.
It's huge.
And that, if that's confirmed for official accessories, that also will apply to any third-party Joy-Con or controller as well.
So that's where I want to go to now then, is the third-party controllers. You look at third-party Pro controllers and third-party Joy-Cons. We'll kind of lump them all in together.
Yeah.
Obviously, grip cons won't work.
So let's just dispel that. Like any of the slide the tablet into a like handheld mode will not work.
Yeah.
None of your grips are going to work. None of your cases are going to work because the thing's huge.
It's a lot
so
bigger.
much bigger than the original one. So any of that's not going to work.
Don't be trying to crowbar it in.
No.
To your satisfies and stuff. No, it's just not going to happen.
No, there'll be new ones for this.
Your third-party Joy-Cons, like your mobile pad, N6 HDs, the really amazing third-party controller Joy-Cons, obviously aren't going to connect physically, but will still work if you connect them together as a controller.
Yeah, there'll be Bluetooth, so you can still use them independently and stuff, but you just won't be able to stick them on.
And the same with the Pro controllers that we've seen, the third-party Pro controllers.
Yeah.
This is conjecture at this point, though, because obviously there's no confirmation. The third-party manufacturers can't confirm anything because they're not hands-on themselves yet.
Yeah.
Nintendo are obviously not going to do a job for them.
No.
So we're kind of conjecturing that if the Pro controllers from the Switch 1 will work, then so will the third-party ones because it's the same connectivity.
I'm 95% sure that it will work. Yes.
And you'll have the same issue. They won't be able to wake from sleep.
Yes, that's the biggest problem just there. Yeah. But if you've got an 8-bit do or whatever you've got, then it should work.
Nintendo Switch adjustable charging stand.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
No.
It says no.
No,
No
wow.
compatibility.
That's a no then.
So charging's a really interesting one. So let's bundle these together. The Switch dock and the AC adapter, really important ones.
That's not going to work.
The dock.
Yeah.
The dock definitely doesn't work.
No, it's not the right shape.
It's not the right shape, not the right size. And of course, the Switch 2 has active cooling because it runs at a much higher wattage when plugged in.
Yeah. It's not going to work.
Don't be trying this, okay? You're going to break things. You're going to melt things.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
The Switch AC adapter. Now, the original Switch came with a massive warning that everyone ignored, and a lot of people just bricked their Switches. It had a very tricky, unique power delivery protocol that only like really certain like docks and adapters would work. You couldn't just plug anything in. 90% of the time you'd be fine and get away with it, and then 10% of the time it would just destroy your Switch. So you want to be careful with this. This is according to Nintendo. The official Nintendo Switch AC adapter you can't use when in TV mode.
Yes, so don't be plugging that into your Switch 2 dock. You want to be using the Switch 2 power adapter with the Switch 2 dock.
100%.
Because it's going to be a much higher wattage.
You were looking at what the wattage might be at that.
So it's a 20 volt, 3 amp maximum, which if you do the calculation comes out at 60 watts.
Yeah.
Whereas the Switch 1, if you do the calculation, I think is just under 45 watts.
Yeah, I thought it was 45, isn't it? Yeah,
so, I think it's like 43 or something silly.
The interesting thing with the AC adapter, the official one from Nintendo, is that it will allow you to charge the Switch 2 console whilst using it.
Now, I'm not sure if that means whilst it's in sleep mode. So if you could plug it in, leave it on the side, and it will charge it up. I don't know if it'll be enough still to actively play and charge
I don't think it
at
will
the
be.
same time.
Yeah.
It might like ground it out, like, so that you can play and it will just sit at the same percentage without dropping anymore.
Oh, yes. Yeah, like actively drain it. And I wouldn't recommend doing that because it's not great for your battery.
It's not good for your battery, no.
But it's interesting that you can use your Switch AC adapter. So if you're not selling your original Switch and you want a spare plug to charge it if you're always in tabletop mode or whatever, then that's an option. But or here's an idea, just put it in the dock when you're not using it.
Yes.
Like everyone does.
Yes.
The high-speed HDMI cable included with Nintendo Switch 1. I mean, it stands to reason that you can't use that.
No. It'd be fine if you're on a 1080p screen.
Yes.
But that's it. And I would probably even argue then that if you're trying to run at like 1080p 120, you're probably not going to hit it.
No. Because this specifically uses HDMI 2.0, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's a 2.1 variant.
Yeah.
That's like just capped out.
Yeah.
Like, but it could be a type of 2.0 like variant. I'm not sure. When we've had no confirmation yet.
Which is to say, if you're unsure, not all HDMI cables are made equal. Much like all USB cables, they're not all made equal. Although it's not very well communicated to the average consumer that that's not the case.
No, most people don't understand this. No.
But you need the high-speed cable that comes with the Switch 2 in order, as Nintendo put it, in order to maximize the performance of the Switch 2.
So I'd say if you're buying like a third-party cable because you want a 5-meter cable and it only comes with a 1 meter or something like that, buy an HDMI 2.1.
Yes.
Which is just like top speed right now.
Higher bandwidth.
Yeah, that absolutely will work with your Switch 2. That would be no problem. But if it's like a way lower spec, like maximum 1080p cable, don't use it.
No.
Use a 2.1 cable and you're fine then because you're over the threshold.
The next one's going to be really important, I think, for everyone is the MicroSD cards.
Oh, yes.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Yes.
Because a lot of people have got a lot of stuff saved on their MicroSD cards.
So normal ones are compatible. However, limitations apply. So if you've got a microSD card, which the Switch 1 uses, in the Switch 2, that will only be able to be used for photos and videos.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to transfer your game data over or your saves or anything like that. Literally, it will just become a screenshot machine.
So for transferring, Nintendo said they've got a transferring system that they've got for this, haven't they? You put your switches in close proximity to each other on the same network, and that you'll be able to transfer your save files.
We'll
and
do a
games over.
tutorial on it.
Yeah. Don't be just ripping out your micro SD card and trying to put it in the Switch 2.
No.
Because, as Andy says, it uses micro SD Express, and as Nintendo say, that's exclusively for Switch 2, which allows for faster data transfer than conventional micro SD.
Well, it's going to be massively improved because I know the Switch 1 has a maximum cap out at 100 megabytes per second.
Yeah.
Read and write. So that's like absolute maximum. Whereas MicroSD Card Express top out at 880 megabyte reads and I think 660 writes, something like that. So super fast in comparison. However, we don't know what the Switch port caps out at. Could be like a 500 maximum.
Yeah.
Could utilize the whole bandwidth.
I don't know why I thought it was 400. If I read that somewhere or someone was speculating maybe.
Speculation, I think. Yeah.
But it wouldn't be crazy to think that they've capped out the bandwidth there at a 400. It means that the cards can be cheaper produced and cheaper sold. The final one, which I think is going to be important to a few people, was the Nintendo GameCube controller adapter. I've never used it, so I don't.
It does work with the Switch too.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
how well
pretty
it works.
sure that Nintendo said that it works.
It does work.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure this is literally an adapter that goes from GameCube straight into USB.
Yeah.
So that you can use an original GameCube controller straight into the Switch 1 for like Super Smash Brothers.
And that's exactly it. Yep. This accessory can be used in TV mode by connecting via a USB port to the Nintendo Switch 2 dock.
There you go.
So there you go. It can work with the dock. Your GameCube controller can live for yet another generation.
Yes. Yeah.
So lots of question marks about third-party stuff. We still won't know about that, like we said in the controllers. But it stands to reason that they will play games.
Yes.
But I'm not going to be able to wait. That's the biggest problem, I think. I'm not going to be able to wake from sleep with them.
That is totally enough for me to justify buying a Switch 2 Pro controller because I am lazy and I don't want to be having to do work around.
I'm not standing up.
Yeah, no. I don't want to do that.
If you've got any questions about Switch 2 stuff, please do let us know because we're going to be obviously deep diving right up until and after the Switch 2 is launched.
Yes.
So make sure you subscribe for more Switch 2 and handheld gaming content in general. And what else should they do?
Become a member and then we can talk to each other on Discord.
It's a nice place.
It is a nice place, yeah.
So until the next time.
See you later. It just changes every time.
I like it.